Hey guys, it's Peggy here with Citrus Templates, and today I'm going to be showing you a very simple way that you can start tracking your expenses and your income to determine if you're actually profitable in your business. So if you feel like you are doing a lot of deals, but for some reason your bank account is not getting bigger, this is the video for you. This video is actually part of a larger training that I did on how to use this spreadsheet. So you'll see exactly how the different sections are laid out. But if you want more detailed training on how to use the spreadsheet, I'm going to go into a very detailed example of how you can use it, what you should be looking for once you've got this filled out, and how you can consistently do this 15 minutes every month. For more detailed training like that, definitely grab the entire course, and I'll put the link in the show notes below. So let's get started. Hey guys, it's Peggy here with Citrus Templates, and today's training is all about tracking your profit and loss. Right? What are we in this business for? It's not a business if it's losing money every day, or if it is, not getting you to the financial goals that you want. And so having a simple P&L statement will really show you how much money you're bringing in versus how much is coming out of your business. And it's really designed to help you find, those money leaks, where, you may not realize how much you're spending. And, if you're somebody that, you're like, okay, I'm making all this income, I've got closings in the pipeline, but yet you can't seem to, save as much as you thought. And at every month, your bank account isn't really going up as much as you thought. Having a P&L is going to be life-changing for your business. I know the numbers are, not as exciting, and, you'd rather be out talking to clients and all of that. But the way that I'm going to show you how to do this P&L, all you need is really 15 minutes once a month. And I'm going to show you how to do that so that it is very simple. And these are just the basics. And then I'll show you what you need to know and how to read your P&L once you fill the numbers in. So let's get started. So the first thing to do to track your P&L is I want you to, click on this link, and you can make a copy of this template. So the template is there for you. You don't have to create anything new. All you have to do is just start filling the stuff in. Now, I know it already looks overwhelming, so I just want you to focus on the last month. So if you are watching this in May, do this, do this for April. Just see how it looks, how your month looked in April, because that's the most recent complete month, and we'll get a good sense of kind of how you're going to do this every single month. So just focus on April. Like, don't even worry about, January, February, March. You can just keep these blank, and then just start with, the last complete month. It doesn't even matter if you're back over here in September, October. It's totally fine. You've got to start somewhere, so just start with the last month and don't worry about the previous months. If you start to really like this and you don't want to go gung-ho, then you can go back and fill in everything else. But right now, we just want you to focus on the last month. Okay, so if you don't have like a way that you haven't tracked your income, or your listings, your closings and stuff like that, usually your brokerage will probably have that information of how much money you made in the last month. But you can also just start with looking on your calendar, right? And you can see what are those major real estate events that would generate income or expenses for you. So those would be all of your closings. Those would be maybe listings that went live that you had to pay for photography, or you had those listing expenses. It could be trainings or continuing education that you had to pay for, or maybe you had a business meeting or a business trip, like you had a conference to go to for your brokerage or something like that, right? So you can use your calendar to kind of jog your memory of like, what are those major events that maybe you spent money or you made money on in your calendar. Okay, and so before we start with this process and filling in the numbers, it's good to just have all of your information before you start. So you'll want to have, your gross income for the last month. So that's the money that is that's going off of the settlement statement. Like, that's the money that's going into your brokerage's account. right? And then usually for the expense side, this could be, if you have a business credit card, your credit card statement from last month, any bank statements that might have those expenses, or like receipts that you have. So you just kind of want to gather that for the previous month. Then once you've got all the information, then we can start filling out this P&L. And so we just want to go through each of these parts. This P&L is broken into 3 parts. And so the first one is just the income, right? So how much gross commission did you make, right? And again, this is the number that is coming off of the settlement statement. So this is not the number that's going into your bank account, because that would be the net to you. But we want to also track, like, hey, you closed this deal, you like made that gross commission. We want to be able to track how much is actually coming off of that from, referral fees, brokerage splits, and team splits before it actually gets to you. And that's really what part 2 is about. So part 1 is really just the gross income that is coming in. And so we've broken it down into, okay, how much did I make from listings? How much did I make from buyers? If you do rentals, how much did I make from, representing tenants or representing landlords? If you do a lot of referral business, maybe you referred business out to, a colleague across the country and they closed. How much money are you getting from referrals? And then also just tracking your other income. This could be like for some brokerages that have a downline and you're making referrals from other agents, or, other passive income that's coming into your business. The point is we want to be able to track all the money that is coming into the business. And then there's a couple other lines here that you can feel free to fill out if there's, other sources that you want to track separately for that specific month. Okay. So then the next step is the fees and the splits. So this is specifically right for the real estate. That what is money that's coming out of that gross commission? Because usually, unless you own your own brokerage and are at 100%, usually you've got some fees coming out of that gross commission, right? So that's going to be any referral fees if you paid a referral to somebody else because of that closing, or brokerage fees. So this could be, whatever splits that you have at the brokerage, or whatever, maybe monthly fees, or you have like a document review fee or anything like that. So the money that's coming out of that goes to your brokerage. And then again, if you're on a team, then you may have another team split as well on top of that brokerage fee. So we've got like those kinds of categories for the fees and the splits that are coming out of that gross income. And so once you're able to fill that in, you'll be able to see now the agent net commission. So this number is the one that should match what is going into your bank account, right? So you'll be able to very clearly see, okay, how much gross commission did I make on the money, and then how much am I actually getting? And I like breaking this out here because this is really if you ever wanted to change brokerages, like if you feel like maybe you're on a split that maybe isn't delivering as much value to you and you want to go to another brokerage, this is kind of where I would be analyzing, what is the brokerage getting versus what am I getting back from the brokerage? Like I know plenty of brokerages that deliver great value to their agents and their agents are happily willing to pay that brokerage fee or that team split. And that's totally fine. If you're happy where you are, then stay there. But if you are, not happy, or you're feeling like, hey, they're taking a lot of money out of these fees for and I'm not sure what I'm getting back in return for that, then this is kind of where you're looking at that value of what they're providing versus how much you're paying. And this is where you can kind of compare brokerages if you were ever wanting to, change brokerages. Okay, then number 3 is the expenses, right? This is where a lot of agents end up getting tripped up because and I've done this before too, right? We have a really good month, then we start spending a little bit more, and then sometimes our income goes down, but then we're still spending. And so this is where, if if you are having trouble, keeping your money and getting that bank account, to really grow, then I would be looking at your expenses. And I broke out these expenses into these different categories because this is actually a very similar categories to what you're going to need for your taxes. And so when you're breaking out money, your expenses, your business expenses for tax purposes, a lot of times this is the breakdown that you'll have. So it's kind of a 2-for-1, right? If you can just break it down right now, then you'll have everything you need when it comes to, next year's tax time. So here you can read through what these all mean, but I think they're pretty clear. So advertising, right? Anything that is for like advertising your business or advertising a listing, that could be for, lead generation, for giving out, goodies and pop buys and stuff like that, for like getting your business name out there to generate income, right? For your deals. And again, including marketing and things like that. You could have continuing education, right? If you're taking classes at your local realtor association or you're having some coaching and stuff like that. There's, credit and collection fees, dues and subscriptions. So this could be, your MLS dues, your local realtor association dues, things like that. Insurance, if you have to pay for your own E&O insurance or you have some type of business insurance, that could go there. Office expense, that's typically, a bigger expense, for agents. So that's like paper, printer, ink, supplies, your computer, anything that you really need, like to run your business, that kind of back office stuff for your business. This also includes your CRM, right? If you're paying for a CRM for, Google, for Google Workspace, like the business side of Gmail, if you're doing any of that, that could all fall under, office expenses. Salaries and compensation. Typically, this is more advanced. Like if you are, if your business is set as a corporation and your business is paying you a W-2 or you're paying other people like a W-2 income, this is where you would put anybody's like salaries. Then you have utilities. If you have like, I don't know, an electric bill or you're paying utilities for an office space that you rent or something like that, that would go under there. Travel and parking. So let's say if you went to a conference somewhere else and you had to, buy an airplane ticket, you had to, pay for parking, downtown at a conference or something like that, that would be under, travel and parking. And then any kind of business meals is the last category. So this is anything that like maybe you had a business lunch with a lender that you guys are trying to, plan ways to work together, or you had lunch with the title company, or you went, somewhere, you had a client appreciation thing that you had to pay for the meal, different things like that are a business expense, but related to kind of meals and entertainment. And then again, there's also more rows down here that you can add, other categories that, if you're not sure, like it really falls in under one of those other categories, or you want to track something very specifically separately, you can put this in here. So let's say like maybe advertising, maybe you want to separate that out into like advertising for your business, like buying leads and Zillow and things like that, but you want to separate that out from actually how much does it cost to market my listings. So maybe you want to add in just like a listing marketing fee here so you can track that by itself. So it's really flexible and up to you, but this is a good starting point to, just track all of your expenses. Okay. And the key here is making sure it's complete, right? I think a lot of times we don't remember all of the expenses that we actually have. And so that's why it's really good to either, you have just one credit card that you put all of your expenses on so that okay, this is the only card that has all of my expenses. And then at the end of the month, when you're doing this once a month, then you can just go to your credit card. It's all in one place where all of those expenses are. You're not kind of like trying to look for it in like 2 or 3 different spots. Okay.